Hi everybody, Mark here. How you all doing? Hope everybody out there is doing absolutely fantastic. This is Comic Book Stew 2.0, part 1.4. Yeah, I really need to figure out a quicker way and a short way of saying that. This is episode 4 of Comic Book Stew, all in all, and this is still the first comic box that I'm showing you, but this is the Starman special, and this isn't the James Robinson Starman. This is the 1988 DC Comics Starman series that featured the Starman who was Will Payton, and this Starman got his powers by being hit by a beam of light from a satellite that was activated by a secret government organization. Yes. So there's quite a few comics to be going through this one. So without further ado, we have Starman number 1. And number 2. Number 3. Number 4. And this next issue, number 5, was part of a crossover with the DC Comics event of 1989-1990, which was the Invasion, which if you've never read that series, it was a 3-part miniseries which showed a group of alien species in the DC universe. I believe it was the I can't remember the names now. It was the Daxans, the Durlons, the Kund, and the Dominators, and there was a fifth species, alien species, in the DC universe. I can't remember who it was, and they all decided they were going to invade the Earth to try and stop the ever-growing superhero population of the DC universe. And they found out that the majority of superheroes in the DC universe had what was called a metagene. It was basically an answer for Marvel Comics mutant gene that the X-Men have, and this was really a way to answer why there were so many superheroes in the DC universe. Certain people had this specific metagene, and when they were exposed to radiation or bitten by something, or as in the case of Will Payton getting hit by a beam of light from a satellite, they gained superhuman powers rather than being fried to a crisp or developing horrible tumours and cancers and that. You know, they actually, their bodies, it was their body's own natural defence to give them a superpower to stop them from getting killed by radiation or being run over by a truck or whatever. However, they managed to get their powers, and there you go, that's the first one. That's issue 5. And that's the Invasion First Strike Extra. And you've got Power Girl, Firestorm the Nuclear Man, and Firehawk in this issue as well. And then you have issue 6, which is the Invasion Aftermath Extra. And in that one you've got Blue Beetle, which is Ted Cord, still alive in this when this was published. Power Girl, the Atom, and a group called the Power Elite, which was another murky secret government organisation that gave people superpowers by activating their metagene. And also you got the Hal Jordan Green Lantern on the front cover as well there. Number 7. Number 8 with Lady Quark. And the character Lady Quark was created for the Crisis on Infinite Earth's crossover event from DC Comics, and she was the only survivor of her Earth. That, I can't remember the designation of her Earth. It was something like Earth S, was it? No, that was Shazam's Earth, wasn't it? I can't off the top of my head remember what Lady Quark's Earth's designation was, was it something like Earth 6 or Earth 7, I think. But she was the only survivor of her Earth that was wiped out in the crisis. In post-crisis stories, Lady Quark was a sole survivor of her home planet rather than an alternative Earth, which her home planet was wiped out when the Anti-Monitor tried to destroy the universe rather than trying to destroy the multiverse. That's how DC Comics figured out how the Monitor, when all the Earths got connected together and all the universes got connected together into one single universe. That's how DC Comics tried to explain, well, all these people from different Earths, like Lady Quark, they didn't actually come from a different Earth, they come from a different planet that was wiped out. Yeah, you have to read it to understand it, really. Next up, we've got number 9, which guest stars Batman, and also number 10 as well, which has Batman in it. Number 11, number 12, number 13, with the character Rampage that started off in the pages of Superman comics, and she was almost like an answer to She-Hulk in the DC universe. And Starman number 14 with guest starring Superman. And we just move those out of the way there. And start right up with issue 15. Issue 16. Number 17 with against Dr. Polaris and fighting alongside Power Go again. Number 18. Number 19, which, if I remember correctly, this was my very first issue of Starman. It's not the original first issue that I had. That was quite knackered. This is a second that I picked up when I bought this whole set off of eBay. I managed to pick up all 45 issues of this series of Starman for a seriously cheap price. Number 20. I don't think there's many people out there that would be interested in actually buying this series of Starman, but I thought the price, I think I paid about $5.99, I think it was, for this whole set of Starman comics for 45 comics. Not a bad price. Number 21, and as you can see, this is a version of the famous Amazing Spider-Man cover, where you had Spider-Man and he stuck his costume in a dumpster. This is the Starman version with Will Payton sticking his Starman costume on a cactus, walking out into the desert, into the Nevada desert. Number 22, and it's got there Invasion Redux, and I believe this one's got a group of Khund warriors that were stranded on the Earth after the invasion. Number 23. Number 24. And number 25. There are loads of comics in this video. Don't worry about it. Let's go. Number 26. This is the reintroduction of the Ted Knight. Ted Knight. Yeah, Ted Knight. Starman, the Golden Age Starman into the DC universe. This is the first time that we saw the then modern day Starman meet up with the golden day Starman, golden age Starman. We have 27. This was a bit of a strange one. This actually crossed over with an event that was happening in the Superman comics that would come out then, which was Action Comics, Superman, and Adventures of Superman. And this is part 2, part 2A of Crisis of the Crimson Kryptonite, which was, I believe, the then reintroduction of Red Kryptonite into the DC universe after the Crisis on Infinite Earth. We have 29 and 30 with part 1 of the Seduction of Starman, and 31 with part 2 of Seduction of Starman. This is 32. Part 3 and 33, the final part of the Seduction of Starman. Issue 34 with Batman in it again. Issue 35 with Valar or Mon-El or whichever future reality he comes from. It's all according which name he takes on. This character is mainly from the Legion of Superheroes, if you haven't seen him already. Number 36 with Rampage and this time Phantom Lady. Number 37 with a Flash villain called the Calculator. Number 38, which is part 5, I think it is, of War of the Gods. Number 39. Number 40, Fighting Elvis. Number 41. I think that's a fantastic cover. That's a real funky cover, that is. Number 42. Star Shadows Part 1. We're getting close to the end of the series now. This is Starman fighting Eclipso. Number 43. Now fighting Lobo. Number 44. And finally, the final part of the first series of Starman, number 45, guest starring Power Girl in her uniform that she wore when she was with the Justice League Europe. So there you go. That's all of the Starman for that series that I'm going to show you here. I've got a few more comics to show you, just so I can wrap up box 1 with a nice 4th video. We have got issue 16 of the DC Star Trek series. I've got a few DC Star Trek comics, not that many. I'm not really a big Star Trek fan. It's one of those ones where I'll watch it if it's on TV. I know about it, but I'm not really a big Star Trek. I'm more Star Wars, really. But I've got no animosity to anybody who likes Star Trek. Actually, no, that's a lie. I'm more Doctor Who than anything else. But if I had to choose between Star Wars and Star Trek, I'm sorry, it would have to be Star Wars for me. Again, Star Trek is one of those ones where, yeah, I'll watch it if it's on. It's a fun thing to watch, but you know, I don't go out of my way to get it. Maybe if I had the money, I would probably get a complete set of all all the series on DVD. But yeah, anyway, we have Tales of the Legion of Superheroes, and you're probably wondering what something beginning with T is going on before a Superman comic. That's because originally, before it was Tales of the Legion of Superheroes, this series was originally Superboy. Then ran about issue 300, I think. Was it issue? No, issue... Oh, I can't remember what issue it was now. But anyway, it then turned into Superboy and the Legion of Superheroes. And then after a few issues of that, it became the Legion of Superheroes. And then they renamed it again as Tales of the Legion of Superheroes when they gave the Legion of Superheroes a new #1 in, what was it, 1983, 1984, I think it was. And that was all printed on this all nice new fancy, what they called Baxter paper, which was like a slightly thicker stock than the newsprint that Tales of the Legion was on, and much more expensive as well. So that's why Tales of the Legion of Superheroes is before a Superman comic, because originally it was Superboy. And if I ever get any of those Superboy comics, if I, miracle of miracles, happen to come along and get a complete set of Superboy and Legion of Superheroes, and Tales of Legion, I would probably do it numerically rather than titularly, title wise. So yeah, it makes sense in my head anyway. Anyway, the S title now, Superman and Batman, number 69, part of the Our Worlds at War series, which, if I remember correctly, it was when there was a character called Entropy, which was this big intergalactic warrior that was destroying the universe, and the Earth got caught up in this creature's onslaught, and this is where we got Our Worlds at War, which was a play on with the old war comic that DC used to publish in the 60s and 70s, which was called Our World at War. And this is issue 70. And then we have Superman Secret Origins number 5. I love this cover. I just really do love this cover. It is issue 11 of Swamp Thing, which I believe this is the first series of Swamp Thing that come from. And finally, we have got issue 1 of the Marvel Comics miniseries Sword, issue 2, and issue 3. I think there was a 4 or 5 issue miniseries this was. So there you go. There you have it. That is all of the comics that is being held in comic box number 1. Next video will be comic box number 2. So it'll be Comic Book Stew 2.0 box 2.1. Yes. I know, I really need to sort out those titles. Thank you for watching. As always, I hope this was interesting to at least somebody out there. If you've got any comments, any questions, if you know more about any of the comics that I've shown here, if any of the information that I've given you is wrong, because I'm not an encyclopedia like some people are of comics. I have to look some of my stuff up on the internet, and that if I don't know off the top of my head, and other stuff I think I know the answer to it, but I might be wrong. So if you have any extra information on any of the comics that are shown here, please feel free to put any comments down below in the comment section. If this is the first time you've seen one of my videos, where have you been? I've done loads of them. Go back and watch the rest of them quick. But if this is the first time and you want to subscribe, feel free to subscribe with the button down here somewhere. Yes, my finger. Hello. Yes. And if you want to thumbs up the video, brilliant. Yes, feel free to thumbs up. Green is my favourite colour. Actually, it's not. Purple's my favourite colour. But in this sense, green is my favourite colour. If you want to thumbs it down. Feel free to do so, because it's a free country. It's a free world at the moment. But if you do thumbs it down, just please say why you thumbs it down. It's just a little comment to say why. If there's anything wrong or anything you want to see more of this video, I'm not going to know unless you tell me. So, and if you do tell me, I'll see what I can do to make these videos better and to more to your taste. So that just leaves me to say thank you all for watching. Love the comics that you read, but not in the biblical sense. And ta-ta for now.